Carolyn is is up in Tallahassee, so we got the state covered here. And we'll be sure to spread this recording around to our members as well. So I'm going to
Thanks,
put myself on mute, and we'll do about, I guess, for 15 or 20 minutes of a presentation. And then, at that point, we'll have Q&A, and Jamie and Natalia, if you got some ways that you want to work with these two, part of what we're going to be doing in the work presentations that we do is to try and encourage that kind of interaction and brainstorming and building a program. So I'm sure they don't mind if you ask them how we can get CLEO in your classrooms or your teaching situation. So take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'll go first. Carolyn, she, her pronouns. I am also a science teacher by training. I still teach biology and earth science at my local community college, and my role at CLEO is education and curriculum manager. So I primarily work with, I would do a lot of work with teachers in terms of publishing lesson plans, educational research articles, teacher professional development training, presenting at conferences, and just generally expanding our reach in different districts.
And my name is Diego Molina Castrillon, he, him pronouns. I have a humanities background, so I actually taught English language arts for close to a decade in both Florida and California. And my job, my role at CLEO is a school and youth program manager. So where Kay is works way closer with teachers, my work primarily is with students. Because of my teaching background, I've always found it important to make sure that students understand what's happening, really get the concept. And then I also focus in making sure that they're in the right spaces so that they can express themselves regarding climate change, and making sure that they're receiving the right education to help them lead the way in the future. And you know what, in the present, because some of the things that students are doing right now, high school and college students, is quite admirable. I think Kay will now share the screen so that we can show you all a little bit of the different programs that we have available. I'm happy to hear that both Jamie and Natalia are in Broward. One of the things that I focus on, I think you'll be interested in. And like Scott said, if you have any questions, please feel free. So the CLEO Institute, it's a nonprofit organization. We are nonpartisan and we're educational. All the information that we have here is gathered from these reputable resources. And it's important for us that people understand that we are just kind of like a middleman. We're all about communicating what the scientists have already found out. And this presentation is for the program that we call Climate Resilient Schools. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's just about making sure that our schools are prepared to face the climate crisis.
And for my work, I do, as I said, the Teachers Network. This picture is from our Climate Education Summit in Miami last year. Apparently, Diego chose the Make a Silly Pose picture for this slideshow. And so, as I said, we offer professional development opportunities. I've created, standard aligned lesson plans and such, and we'll walk teachers through using them. I have I have sort of a presentation I do often on misinformation and disinformation. That is something that I particularly am really passionate about, and I like getting to talk about that one. We really focus on how to incorporate climate into your existing curriculum. So I am well aware what supplemental curriculum is, and the fact that very few people actually get around to it. And that I don't want to say we're basically all slaves to the pacing guide here. So inserting a whole additional, whole additional lesson can be really difficult. So again, working with teachers and trying to provide them with additional resources, but not additional work, is really key here, because we've both been classroom teachers. I have more freedom, at the college level, but still, I get it, we get it. We also have a quarterly newsletter, although we're going to be increasing the frequency of that. Um, I can definitely drop the link in the chat later if you'd like to sign up for the Teachers Network, and then you'll get the newsletter as well as any other, information about upcoming opportunities, which we will talk about at the end. Oh, I guess that makes it easy. If you are on your computer, you can go ahead and scan that with your phone and sign up.
And this is one
Can
of
you go
the,
back to QR
Yeah,
code?
can you go back 1 second? Thanks.
Sorry, I can't see anyone while I'm presenting. So are you both good?
I'm good. Jamie's good.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
so this is one of the things that I've been focusing on the most, and it's called the Climate Change 101. It's a 45 to a 60-minute presentation where someone from my team will go visit your classroom. We do mostly high schools, and we'll also visit some middle schools. And it's an interactive presentation where we address the causes, the impacts, and the solutions to the climate crisis. We address different topics. The main idea is for us to focus on impacts in South Florida. So even though we understand that climate change is impacting the entire planet, for students to really grasp the severity of it and for them to really connect with the issue, we would like to focus specifically to South Florida. So we talk about extreme weather events, we talk about sea level rise, and we talk about extreme heat. Those are the three main things that we talk about. And then we'll also tell them about some opportunities as far as like career opportunities, and also about a program that we call CLEO. It's a youth advocacy program that I'll speak a little bit about later on. And if you're interested in having someone from my team visit your school, I'll drop my email in the chat. I know it's in another slide later on, but just in case. And sorry, Kate, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to interject here and just say that for both Diego and I know that not everyone, was able to make it tonight. Some folks are probably going to be watching the recording, but if you know anyone else who'd be interested in, yes, joining the Teachers Network, having a Climate 101, or even just has, questions about how to approach climate education and would like a bit of a subject matter expert, to talk to you about it, please share our contact information liberally. I am always happy to answer questions or hop on a quick call with folks. Diego's out and about a little bit more than I am, so might be busy, but yeah, just in general, please let folks know that we are very available.
Yeah, and talking about me being out and about, just today I was out in Terra, a school right around Kendall. Last week I was at Somerset charter school in Broward. Next week I have another, no, not next week, 2 weeks from now I'm visiting another school. So one of my main goals is to get into as many classrooms as possible and either continue the conversation, because some students I've learned are very much aware. And then I see that some students are really not that aware, or they might have not connected the dots. And so it's my pleasure to always get to visit different classrooms about that. I understand that both our attendees are in South Florida, and I'm happy to go out there. If anybody that is watching this recording is in Central Florida, more specifically the Orlando area, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to one of our team members who is in that area. Her name is Christy Folk. And I'm dropping her email on the chat, but just in case, her email is cfolk@cleoinstitute.org. And that is if you'd like to have this type of presentation in your classroom in the Orlando area. Thanks, Kay.
Oh, there we go. I think your email is not quite right here, but the QR code will definitely get you to the right place.
That is interesting.
We're going to blame Google Slides for cutting it off. Always blame tech. And since I can't see y'all, just let me know if you wanted to scan the, let me know when you're done and I can go on to the next slide.
Would you recommend to do, sorry, I'm reading the question that Jamie is asking. Would you recommend to do Climate Change 101 with middle and high school together or separately? I like to do them separately so I can visit both. I've had teachers ask me if I'm willing to do a presentation to an assembly. Because of the nature of the presentation, because of the subject matter, I always prefer to do it in a classroom setting. So usually a normal class period, we're talking about like 25 to 35 students. I can obviously present to more. I think I want to limit the audience to about 70 to 80 students. And even then, I think it gets a little bit untenable as far as like really engaging with the students. So we're happy to go out to whatever school you want to for us to visit several times. The school that I visited today and tomorrow. And most of the schools that I visit at least twice in the same week. And then I've had schools where I'll visit twice in the fall and then maybe twice in the spring, that kind of thing. So I hope that answers the question.
And I just want to say that you're talking about, assemblies and such. The way we do Climate 101, it is very interactive. Ideally, there's a lot of, student engagement and back and forth. We don't want it to be yet another lecture. So that's why the small groups are preferable.
And then this is one of our other programs that we have. I previously mentioned the CLEO Youth Advocacy. And so the idea for this program is to empower students to get involved with the climate change fight within their community and around the state in general. So throughout the year, we'll provide different trainings, how to contact and speak to elected officials, how to write an op-ed. In fact, you might be familiar with the approval of Prager U supplemental curriculum in Florida. We had one of our students submit an op-ed in Tallahassee, actually, and she was published. So this is like a big deal for us, for the students to understand, just because you can't vote, it doesn't mean that you can't have an active voice in your community. So we like to encourage, and a lot of times we'll go with students to commissioner meetings. We've gone to school board meetings as well. We've met with commissioners and just local community leaders, and really kind of holding the students' hands during the first meeting, so they really can feel like, okay, I have someone on my corner, and these are the issues that I'm worried about. And you usually see a huge growth in the students when they realize, again, just because I can't vote, it doesn't mean that I don't have a say in my community. And that to me is a big part of what we do. We have monthly meetings. In fact, today, about an hour ago, we finished the monthly meeting for September. Every month has a different theme. This month was Hispanic Heritage Month. So we had representatives from the Eco Madres group present and had the students ask some questions. Overall, it's this idea to make sure that students have another entry point, another access to the climate crisis, and for them to realize there are people working against it. There are students like themselves. These are high school and college students who are interested, who want to take the next steps. And it's important for us that they start feeling connected, which is one of the issues that we've noticed, that a lot of students feel like if they care about this issue in their community, then that's as far as they're able to connect. And so this group is a way for students to build resiliency through a stronger network.
So one of the more hands-on projects that we did last year, we were awarded a grant to purchase air quality monitors and to deploy them with students around Miami-Dade County as a citizen science project, where they were collecting this data about air quality, just going on their normal daily machinations. They didn't need to do anything additional other than, where go to work, school, sports practice, what have you. And they were from all different parts of Miami-Dade County, and they compared their data and looked at disparities and connected it to, they connected it to things like, like green space and bus drop-off areas. Diego met with them, what was it, every week?
We met once a week for about 2 to 3 months, I believe.
And sort of guided them through the data collection, the data analysis. I developed a workbook for this cohort. And then when we published this, I revised it so that it's not specific to air quality, because we were very lucky to have a grant, but not everyone can afford that kind of technology. For environment or interested in studying, it can be used for that. It can be scaffolded up or down to be covered, within a class period, or do it, for 10 or 15 minutes every Friday for a whole semester. And you can make it work that way. The goal is, again, to be very interdisciplinary, where you've got your civics, potentially persuasive writing, how government works, in addition to science, quantitative reasoning, that kind of thing. And then we wrote it up and published the paper in the journal. Both the workbook and the article are available for free to download on our website. So it's on the same link as the Teachers Network sign up. You just got to scroll down and you can download any of our lesson plans and the article and the workbook that go with it.
I'd just like to add that one of the beautiful things that I saw with this project, and again, because I have a humanities background, I'm all about like conversation and, the students really getting out of their shell. It was interesting because these 10 different students from all over Dade County were really willing to share what their findings were, how they connected that with the critical infrastructure in their neighborhood, and how that is directly impacted by their socioeconomical status. So something that could be a very difficult conversation as far as like the way that socioeconomical status affects access to clean air was made way simpler and a little bit more approachable when the students only had to look at the numbers, and it's not solely based on their perception or on their experience. They have the data to back it up, and for some reason that I really couldn't understand, that helped the students like bring down that wall that they kind of put up regarding certain difficult topics. So this beautiful project about taking some science, some social studies, just project-based learning, I think in the most beautiful sense of it. So if you're interested in teaching it, we'd be more than happy to connect with you, give you some guidance, some support, and obviously we're always wanting to hear back from teachers so that we can tweak it so that more people want to use it and continue working with climate education.
So there's our contact info again. This picture is from last year at the Broward County Public Schools Equity Conference, where we were discussing basically that project and how you can use science and these kind of programs to drive equity. And if you are interested in potential workshops and PD that it's coming up, the Florida Association of Science Teachers Conference is in Tampa next month. It goes from October 19th to the 21st. I will be hosting a workshop on Thursday, which is we call it the workshop day. It's an extra like $5, but it will be a 2-hour workshop walking you through that that project that we just talked about, on developing it for your classroom and how you would put it into practice. And then our colleague Christy that Diego referenced earlier, she's going to be talking about the Green Schools program, gamification, and how that can be used for Sustainable Schools program. And if you are able to make it to the conference, the fees also include a year of membership to the Florida Association of Science Teachers. And they also have newsletters and, scholarship and grant opportunities and all kinds of good things they can share. So I've been a member for like 5 years now, and I highly recommend it. I think, I can't see the chat, but I think Diego's going to drop the link in the chat on how to register. Or if you need me to do it, I can do it later. And 2 weeks later, I will be back in Tampa to work with USF's Anshin Center for Teacher Professional Development. It's going to be a mini summit with Dr. Alexandra Panos, who works, again, this is really interdisciplinary. She is in the School of Education, and she does have more of a humanities background, but her focus is on media literacy and critical thinking, and she focuses on climate literacy. She is the absolute coolest person, and I'm so excited to meet her in person. So we'll be talking about, citizen science, civic engagement, and then, as I said, misinformation, disinformation, critical thinking. And this one is free to attend. So if you can get over to USF, we are more than happy to have you. There is a QR code on this flyer, but we do also have the link for that.
Yeah, I dropped both the links just so you know.
Much obliged. And same as what we said before, please, we should actually, I'll send out a follow-up email and I will include these flyers and, sign up links and everything to the whole FCEN network. But again, please share if there's anyone that you think might be interested, absolutely send it along. We'd appreciate it.
And I have one upcoming event for Broward public school teachers. There's a PD going on October 24th. I'll be at Nova High School, presenting about different ways that you can integrate climate change into your curriculum. It's mainly going to be a STEM specific audience, but again, like we mentioned before, we want to make sure that this is an interdisciplinary approach. It shouldn't just rely on science teachers. We want teachers of all different backgrounds and all different subjects to be talking about this so that students can get a little bit more used to hearing this. So hopefully you all can make it. I unfortunately don't have the link to sign up, but it is on the PD on the 24th at Nova High School, and I'll be there. Would love to meet you all in person.
Indeed. Could you all, make sure whenever you have these kinds of events, and many of them you just listed, please do make sure you add those to our network and upload any of this flyers.
I'm gonna put that on my to-do list for tomorrow.
Okay. Let's see if I have a bunch of questions, but I think let's go to Jamie and Natalia and see what they're interested in here.
I'm interested in seeing
Oh.
there and have a small group. But I'm wondering if a program like this, if I don't do it technically through the youth group, but open it up to all of the high schoolers in the synagogue, probably get the same ones who are interested in the youth group anyway, but like on a different night, separate. I might have like, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 15 people. In general, any program is kind of my range. And I think that something like this is something that they might be interested in, and then learning more how they can get involved and do something about it.
Yeah, I would love to go out there for the presentation, the Climate Change 101. I don't just visit schools. I usually just talk about the school experience, but I've gone to groups in museums. So when museums have some sort of like youth internship, I've been there. I've done presentations for Girl Scouts as well. So pretty much any youth group that is an interested audience, we can arrange something and I'll be there.
Great.
And I don't know how much, I guess maybe he's already started out at college, but one of our really active Gen CLEO students did a lot of this work through his synagogue, where he was very involved. So maybe we can put you in touch with Asher.
Great.
What's-
Where is he from?
He is here from South Florida right now. He's attending Stetson University in St. Pete.
Yep.
What, you know, you were just kind of describing the Climate 101, and I'm wondering with the Gen CLEO program, is that's during school hours or that's the after school program, or how does that differ in as far as the structure of where it's presented?
Sorry, Scott, you kind of cut out. Were you asking
Yeah,
about the
I'm
Climate
looking.
Change 101 or the
Yeah.
Gen CLEO program?
I
Well,
think
what
you the difference.
contrast those?
What
Sorry.
happens during school versus after school?
So as far as the Climate Change 101, that it can be at any time. In fact, I'm scheduling a presentation at Barry University on an evening in October. So even though it's kind of like geared towards a classroom setting, it can really happen anywhere that, again, there's a willing audience. The Gen CLEO program works mostly outside of schools. So even though there's obviously students that are involved with it, most of the program takes place after school, where we want students to, again, attend the different trainings that we're offering them, and then find the ways that they would like to get involved, whether that is writing to local elected officials, whether that is attending commissioner meetings, school board meetings. In January, we are taking a good amount of students to Tallahassee to do some climate lobbying. So they go for about 2 to 3 days, and then they'll receive a training on advocacy, on public speaking, and then they'll get to meet a couple of the state senators and their staff.
Do you find that the students who are involved in Gen CLEO, that's sort of more of a voluntary effort on their part to connect with you on that, or they're nominated by teachers, or how did they get involved? It's a different kind of feeling just from your presentation than the 101, which is sort of the, you know, students may do something as a result of the 101, but you know, it's kind of a different feeling to the way they seem to work.
Right. So I think a lot of times students kind of hear about us because we're really engaged in the community. So they'll reach out to one of us. They might find us through social media. We have a large presence in several college campuses, and I think that's really driving students' interest. When I go visit a school or when I do a presentation, I obviously share my contact info, and I'll give them different opportunities to approach me. Or sometimes I'll just have a student give me their information and I'll reach out to them. So really, because it's a youth group, it's a very flexible in that sense. We want students from all sorts of backgrounds with all different types of abilities to join. It's strength in numbers kind of thing. So really, as long as they're interested in joining, students will find us, or we'll find them.
I was going to ask Natalia, do you have any students you think who would be good prospects for sort of a Gen CLEO group?
Well, yeah, I have one student which really attend such kind of meetings. Well, I cannot talk about her much. I don't know how much I can give information right now, But yeah, she told me that she is in one of the group who is working toward that. Going on all kind meetings and so on. So as of now, I cannot give student information.
No, I said no worries. You can give our information to, again, not just to other, teachers and educators, but if either of you have any, students, I don't know, younger family members, whatever. As I said, please share our contact info liberally. We're happy to talk to anyone. And I will say that that student sounds great. All anything that they do with Gen CLEO, I do want to point out, all of this can count as volunteer hours. So if you have kids who are, I'm really sorry if you hear my cats in the background. But yeah, if they need hours for Bright Futures, other scholarship or school programs for their for their place of worship, whatever it is, everything they do with us is loggable volunteer hours. So I did just want to throw that in there as well.
Okay, thank you. I also interested in that the air we breathe. Do you still do this project? Do you have tools for this project? Because one of the unit in my environmental science is air pollution, and sounds really interesting for them.
So there's the link to the article itself, which does have, as I said, the workbook that you can download directly. We're not currently running it, as we're kind of on a train the trainer part of this project, where you're doing this and giving workshops to teachers and showing them how they could implement it. I don't know if you're close, Diego, maybe if we would be able to lend out the air quality monitors at all, or I know that was something we were thinking about, but we do also list in the article various ways that you can get access to data at no cost.
Okay, we're here in South Florida in Tamarack, our school in Tamarack. And yeah, we don't have tools because any tools right now because of the multiple problem. It's first year environmental science in our school, so we're still waiting for our county to purchase tools. And second, well, it's all about money. Yes. In the county.
I wonder have your teacher network programs allowed any of the teachers to be able to exchange those kinds of tools or work together on doing something like that?
I heard that somewhere here around us there is free tool rentals, and while was in summer PDs, I was making my digital notes and I put address everything, but unfortunately my computer crashed and I lost it. And I didn't save on OneDrive.
The teachers network is statewide, so we don't really have that because I mean, we also have, anyone is welcome to sign up, so yeah, it would be kind of difficult to do anything that would require, as I said, sort of like taking physical objects back and forth, but we do our very best to connect teachers with the resources that they need. I know that my local library has an air quality monitor that you can actually check out and borrow. So again, that kind of thing, we're very open to helping teachers access.
And while Kaya is appeasing her kitty, I would like to say a lot of smartphones have air quality, it's not a sensor, but it's connected to an air quality sensor in the area. So that's another way that students can start engaging it a little bit more. I just pulled it up. I was trying to find it real quick on my iPhone. If you go to the weather app and you scroll down past the weekly overview of the weather, right there you'll see the air quality reading.
Mhm.
I'm not clear on where these sensors are, but it is about their area. So I think it is relevant for somebody who'd like to get interested in that. So Natalia, I suggest you take a look at that. And if you reach out to me, I could speak with leadership and see if there's a way that we could collaborate during your air quality unit.
Yeah, I just opened app, it show air quality. I was thinking about students actually measure themselves, you know, like any piece of tools. Yeah, cell phone will work.
Interesting.
Is the Gen CLEO, is that like a cohort based where they meet up on Zoom and stuff and then maybe get together to when like a day at Tallahassee or something like that? Is that how it works?
So primarily because it's a statewide thing, there's the monthly meetings that they meet over Zoom. There's a great moment for an open forum for the students and other people who might have joined the meeting to share about what are the opportunities that are happening in their area. They give updates on that. We also use WhatsApp. We have a group chat with about like 500 different students. It's curated in a way to make sure that it's only students and youth members. And it's a great way for us to share different opportunities, whether it's CLEO related opportunity or other organizations that are doing similar work. And so we use that as a kind of like a forum where we want students to see the different opportunities and they take advantage of whichever one. Over the summer, every summer we have a meetup and we divide into 3 different regions, South, Central, and North. And we have a field trip. So as an example, the South Florida region, we went to Big Cypress National Preserve this past summer. I never thought I'd be out in the Everglades in the summer and actually enjoy myself, but it happened. So, you know, there's that. Life is full of surprises. Central Florida visited the Blue Springs State Park, and then North Florida. Okay, I want to say you all visited caves, I believe.
Mariana Caverns, yes.
Right. So it's one of the ways that we want students to get out there and enjoy their surroundings and really understand why we're doing the work that we're doing. And aside from that, we are sharing different events that students can go and meet each other. I think one of my favorites is anytime that we can get a group of students to go to commissioner meetings or school board meetings. It's a great way for them to feel supported by each other, see each other's work, and also meet each other. And I think that's a great way for them to build community beyond Zoom.
And at those events, is there an adult there, like type
Oh,
of thing that meets with
right.
meets? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I should have been clear about that. Yeah, all of this, you're right. It's a great.
Is there, well, I figured that the field trip ones, the Big Cypress, that one, but I'm talking about like the meetings, like any advocacy type stuff also.
I mean, I would say that sometimes the college students will go on their own, but if it's, you know,
Oh.
if it's minor students for sure, then yeah, no, we're not just sending them off, you know, off into the world, all on their own. I did just want to throw this in here because I was looking at it while Diego was talking. So portable air pollution sensors, there is a company where you can access crowdsourced data that other people have gotten from air quality monitors. So I don't know that it would be super specific to your exact area, but you've got a pretty good chance. And at the very least, you know, even if it's not your area, you can still compare one area to another on a more granular scale with that potentially. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I didn't see for Broward or Miami. Apparently your libraries are slacking and they do not offer air quality monitors for folks to borrow like they do here.
Must be an interesting history why they offered them in the libraries there, but I'm not sure.
We have a big library of things. You can borrow robot kits and telescopes and all sorts of
Wow.
like all sorts of like science and educational tools. Um, I know that the one here is more for like setting in a single place and monitoring like a home or workplace that it is, a scientific tool. But you take what data you can get. And I'm really sorry they missed their dinner because I was in this meeting and they're insistent.
Talk a minute if you can, I know we're kind of winding down here, but what are the challenges among the Gen CLEO group for students involved in that kind of advocacy work? And talk, if we've got a little bit of time, you might also talk about the challenges that teachers might have with their network group. I mean, they may actually share some of their challenges amongst themselves and work together to help address some of those.
I think as far as challenges when it comes to students is that they don't realize how direct the program is, and they don't understand the type of opportunities they have. A lot of times the students that are most engaged are the ones where their parents have been able to give them guidance, or they had an older relative who told them like, hey, I used to do this, join a group like this, that kind of thing. So it's difficult sometimes for students to understand and convey the power of their voice and the different ways that they can get engaged. So they feel like, because I can't vote and I don't really understand what is happening, then I don't see the value of getting involved. And so we try to do a good job at showing students what previous students have done, what are the opportunities that these students have gotten, and why would that be beneficial for them. And once I think it's my thought that once they really understand that, oh, it's not like I need to build a movement from scratch, and it's not something that doesn't really align with my values. Once they really see the purpose of it, then they're able to like start engaging more and more. And you can almost see the click when they see the all the different opportunities that start opening up. And so I think it's important for students to see the opportunities that are available, and for them to have sort of mentor, a teacher, a family member, someone who is able to tell them, look, these are some good opportunities. And even though it takes an extra step, and obviously as teenagers, it's always difficult for them to kind of like put themselves out there. Once they're out there, once they're really getting engaged, you get to see beautiful things. We've had students speak. We had a student speak at the Climate Aspen conference last year.
Miami, right.
Yeah, so we had a student speak there because of her involvement with Gen CLEO. We've had students speak at the Broward Youth Summit, Climate Summit. One of our students was a keynote speaker there. And these are, and I'm very happy to say this, we had 2 high school students who earned a trip to DC with all expenses paid, with our involvement with another group from California. And it was because these students in a short amount of time really understood the opportunities that were given to them, and they just took the horse by the reins. And later on in the year, they got this amazing opportunity. They met with congressional staffers. They were interviewed in a radio station. And it's like I always tell them, you're going to get out of this program as much as you put in. If you're really engaged, then you're going to see all these different doors open up for you. And if you just want to do the bare minimum, like attend meetings, that's fine as well. We all have different capacities and we all have different roles.
I just want to throw out there as well. This is a local win for Gen CLEO up here. Leon County is I think it's the first county and one of 8 municipalities in Florida to pass a climate emergency declaration, publicly stating their commitment to a transition to renewable energy and centering justice and equity in that transition. One of our students started, I believe she was either sophomore or junior in high school when she started working on this. And it's been over 3 years of work, including quite a lot of hitting our head against a wall, honestly. Getting passed around from commissioner to commissioner who didn't want to deal with us. But this is a major win. And you know, and this is something that the students can do. I will say for teachers, I mean, I'm sure y'all are perfectly aware of what the environment is like in education in Florida right now. And so for a lot of teachers, I just had a meeting with one group of teachers we're going to be doing a PD program at their school next weekend. And they were a little bit nervous because they had just received basically this huge attack on social media, including threats. And I looked at them and I'm like, let me guess, you're doing woke indoctrination and grooming children? I'm like, yeah, how did you know? And I totally understand being reticent to put your neck out at all, you know, based on what could come down on your head. I think a good way to try to avoid that, you know, first of all, like, I'm so sorry y'all are going through that, and it will pass. You know, the environment can't stay this crazy forever. And the more the rest of the country like is exposed to this, I feel like, you know, the more it's shown that this is not something that will be supported nationwide, and they'll lose steam. But also centering, you know, community improvements. You know, how can you have a student in the public school system and oppose an initiative to reduce air pollution at their bus stop? You know, when you make it very clear to members of the community that the students are leading this, you know, you are not the one who's making these decisions and telling them what to say. This is something that they want to do and that they care about. And again, framing it where obviously, you know, amongst like-minded folks, we're going to talk about equity and justice and, you know, the Earth's climate and all of that. But if there are folks who don't necessarily see eye to eye on those topics, but they would agree that it'd be really nice to have, you know, another park in their neighborhood. I've said before, like, if you're a flat earther but you like solar panels, I'll talk to you. So yeah, trying to get community buy-in by looking at shared values, I feel like can help to overcome what resistance teachers might face. I mean, there's always going to be folks who are just completely bad faith, and nothing you can say or do will assuage them. But they're going to be like that anyway. You know, there's nothing you can say or do that's going to make them not have an adversarial relationship with you. So honestly, at that point, just kind of stay out of their way.
Well, great. Well, we're just that's a you know, both of you gave some really interesting stories there. These are fantastic sort of examples of the kinds of things that why these programs are so important, I think. So thank you both so much for your presentations tonight. You know, we're gonna, of course, distribute the recordings and to our network and make sure that I know you would like to have this as well. So I'm gonna stop the recording here, but also give you a couple more sort of follow-up slides for next possible steps. So let me go